the Democrats, to their credit, are doing everything they can to try to stop Donald Trump from taking the Qatari grift force one once he eventually leaves office. I doubt they'll be successful, but they're trying. A committee just voted 15-4, though, against adopting an amendment they had put forward during consideration of the annual defense funding bill. The amendment was offered by Senator Chris Murphy of my home state of Connecticut. It sought to block funds from being used in a manner that would enable transfer of a presidential air transport aircraft that has been under foreign registry to a non-governmental entity until the aircraft has served as a presidential air transport aircraft through the end of its service life. Basically, they used all the words they needed to be like, that plane, you can't take that after you leave, which seems like the most reasonable thing in the world. Again, he's already a billionaire. He can already buy fancy planes. He literally already owns planes, but he's going to take that, the biggest bribe that has ever been given. And Murphy's reasoning, I think there's a lot of good reasons to stop him from taking it, but one was that he said this is an extraordinary amount of money, okay, the money that will be used to renovate it, to be used on a plane retrofit that will likely only be in service for a short period of time, maybe 1 or 2 years at most. Well, the administration has essentially refused to brief us on the full cost. Reports are that this number could be easily $1 billion. We're going to pay between $0.5 to $1 billion to retrofit a plane that Donald Trump will use as Air Force One for 6 to 18 months, and then he's going to take it. And all of the money that we put into it will be for his own personal benefit, not for America, not for the president, the executive branch, whatever. And that is utterly unacceptable. By the way, he could pay for that. He could pay for those renovations in addition to buying his own plane, just like he could pay for his golf trips. He could pay for all of these magnificent luxuries that he feels entitled to, but he doesn't pay for any of it. He's entitled to you paying for it. And Mitch McConnell pushed back against it, saying the idea that he's gonna take the plane, these are rumors. Why are we worrying about things a few years in the future? Well, Mitch McConnell doesn't have to worry about that. He ain't gonna be here by the time Trump takes that plane, which he is 100% going to do, and they are all just allowing it. Brett, what do you think?
I was thinking about this recently when folks are like, why is it, this is a brand exercise and a rhetorical gambit that people are making that seems to be taking more and more hold, which is, why do the Democrats hate everybody that isn't fitting a purity test, but the Republicans will let anyone into their tent? And the reason for that is it is not based on any principles on the right and any morals or any system. It has everything to do with just pleasing Donald. Yeah, he's winning, so I'm winning. And he can get whatever he wants because he said like 4 things that I said once while complaining. And he said it in a way similar to how I said it. And that same dynamic translates to them giving him $1 billion plane to do whatever he wants with in a year when he's no longer, 2 years when he's no longer president. Like that's the only justification for why they would allow him to maintain control over this plane and not give it back to the government. Now, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library does feature the Air Force One used by Ronald Reagan. It's the only cool thing about that library. So I understand why you would want to give it to the president, but also I feel like,
wait, Brett, what? Easy solution to the problem then. Give the one he's flying in right now.
Exactly. So take the old one, put it in your museum so people can go on that plane you went on. And then the one that we just buffed, like vanity projects now have, in this segment of the show, before the first break, we have now talked about $1.2 billion in wasteful vanity spending by President Trump. It will benefit only really him and a few other people with access. And that access will not include anyone of like statistical, significance. It will just be more fancy people that get to hang out with Trump in fancy locations you will never see in your entire life.
Exactly. Well, I mean, maybe eventually at the library, I guess. Oh, God, what if he takes the ballroom? when he leaves
with him,
scoops it up.
What if he says it's
Like
$200 million, but it's actually just one of those like big inflatable tent things, like in the Midwest where you can play soccer during the winter?
Nice. I've played tennis in one of those actually.
I wasn't talking about you, John. I said Midwest.
I want to be a part of the story.
No,
I haven't been a part of any.
If I wanted to say Connecticut or Austin,
shut up. We're moving on.
Or Los Angeles, I would have said Connecticut, Austin, or Los Angeles.
Shut up. I've lived other places. You don't know. But anyway,
Egypt.
Also, other places. So I'm gonna ask one question before we move on. Which story has Fox News done more reporting on? Donald Trump taking the $400 million plane, the maybe $1.4 billion plane, or AOC not spending enough on the dress that she wore to the Met Gala?
Met Gala.
Because she's an elitist.
Met Gala.
Like everybody knows the answer to that. She only spent like $10,000. Like fair market value, that should be like $30,000.
Which she didn't even spend. Enough. They just lent it to her.
No, I think she ended up giving money for it or whatever. I don't remember the specifics, but anyway, that story, whatever the specifics of it are, they 100% believe that was a sign that she's an elitist. But Donald Trump building a palace and flying around in a Qatari jet, not a concern, not even worth covering.